Welcome to Empower Hour. Let's get growing. Good morning. How is everybody? So excited to be here. Jose, please remember I can't reach the controls, so you're going to have to control things for me. What a beautiful day. I want to just start by saying I am so extremely grateful for everything. Just life, the challenges, everything. Just in such a good place. And it's taken me a really long time to get here and no regrets. And I'm excited to talk about today's topic because it literally has been the main thing in the last 10 years that have helped me grow businesses and eventually land, good morning, Nancy, land upon soulful prosperity, right? Building a business that nourishes your soul. What is the point of owning a business if you're stressed out, you have no time for family, no time for friends? What is the point? There is no point. And so when we approach building a business in a way that feels so good, that becomes magnetic. And that's what we're here to talk about today, the energetics of sales, approaching the growth of your business from your heart and soul. And truly having a greater good, a mission where you are looking to help as many people as possible. And you believe that deeply, and that comes across. And then your business begins to grow naturally, not forced, not hustling, not convincing and chasing, because none of that feels good. Most of my clients come to me and they're just like, oh, I hate sales. And it does take a little while to, shift that mindset and to get into this kind of energy where it just feels really good. But once you get there, it just begins to flow naturally. And once again, like I said few minutes ago, it becomes magnetic. If David is in the studio, Jose, please get him here. I did send him the other link, but that's okay. And I don't see him saying good morning. So David is one of my clients who's going to come and teach us a little bit about the sales process in a little while. If you can put up the slide small, that would be awesome. Small. Yeah. So next slide. We're going to talk today about what sales is about and what sales isn't about. It's not about pressure. It's not about your lead funnel. It's not about your magnet. It's not about your scripts. It's about the transformation. Focusing on the transformation. What does your product or service do for your potential clients and your clients? How is it going to impact their life? How is it going to impact their business? And your ability to be able to communicate that, articulate it beautifully. And that you come from such a place of believing in your product or service. This is why I did well in real estate, because I never tried to sell a house. By the way, if you ever try to sell a house to somebody like that, that's like a deeply personal choice. What you want to sell in real estate, and what I learned probably the last 10 years of my 30-year career, I spent the first 20 struggling and hating sales just like everybody else. But then when I realized that what I was actually selling was myself and my belief that when they purchased a house, no stone was going to go unturned. They were going to understand exactly what they were getting into. They were going to understand what their neighbors, could do and couldn't do. They were going to understand anything about the house environmentally, physically, so on and so forth. I was going to make sure that I negotiated the best price for them, or the best terms, whatever was the most important to them. That's what I was selling. And when I started to understand that and I truly believed in who I was and my capability, I became magnetic. Okay, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. Uncertainty all starts and stems from your energy and who you show up as in these conversations. Oh, I see David's in the back now. Yay. Actually, well, I don't think you can bring him up while I have the slides up, so I'll bring him up in a few minutes. So sales become magnetic when you understand and connect to your client's deepest desires. You see and understand their vision, and then you are able to bridge your product or your service to their desired outcome, not your desired outcome. If you're attached to, I need this sale has to happen, I need this money, I need this, that's the energy you're leading with, and they're gonna retract. But when you are deeply invested and curious about what's going on with them, where do they want to go, and then figure out how your product or service can lead them there, this is where the magic lives. I have a really quick story. When I first went full-time in real estate, probably about 5 years after I had my real estate license, a local developer who was very, very well known gave me a shot. He gave me a whole subdivision to just sell. I did really well. I sold the whole subdivision. It was a good market. I was blessed. I was lucky. I kind of stepped in it. And then a couple of years later, fast forward, he got really, really sick. He had lung cancer and he was really sick. He was terminal. And he was, walking around town with his oxygen tank. He was like just one of my favorite people. Thank you so much, Jimmy, wherever you are. You were one of the first people who ever believed in me. But we had one house left, not in that subdivision, in another area, actually around Lake Mayapack, right behind me, Westlake Boulevard address. But it was a difficult house to sell because it didn't have lake rights. So it was over $1 million. And this is 20 something years ago, over $1 million with no lake rights on Westlake, which is the Lake Mayapack community. Like, nobody wants to spend over $1 million to live there and not have lake rights. And there was a few other things. And what was happening is, as our community, now this gentleman was kind of like a sinner and a saint. People either loved him or hated him. And a lot of people were jealous of him. And so when the word got out that he was sick and he was dying, lowball offers started coming in like crazy. And all of a sudden I knew exactly what to do. It just came to me, and I knew in my heart and soul. And by the way, he had 5 children and a wife, and the other sales really went to pay off the debt and to do all of those things. This house was it, right? This was going to be the money that the mom was going to use to raise her children and do what they needed to do. So his brother owned a big home improvement type company. I went to his brother and I'm like, look, I need you to give me like a $20,000 budget and a crew and like 2 weeks. And we're going to do a few things. And then we're going to take the house off the market. And then we're going to put it back on the market. And we're going to raise it by $500,000. And he's just looking at me like, we're going to do what? John, these are my nieces and nephews. This is my sister-in-law. Like, this is a serious situation. This is not something to just take chances on. I'm like, I just need you to trust me. I know this is the right thing to do. I know it. And I so deeply believed it. And I was able to transfer that belief, and he did it. And now I'm like, what did I do? I got to come through, but I didn't waver. I stayed confident, and I just stayed in that belief. So a couple of weeks later, we do all the things. We put the house back on the market. We raise the price. I do an open house that weekend. And it's a funny story because, I'm all dressed up. I have these doctors that I'm walking around, and I'm like, they're going to buy the house. Then all of a sudden I'm standing up in the master bedroom and I see this Ford, I don't know if it's a Ford, Dodge, whatever, Windstar van, like the turquoise Windstar van. The door opens, and I don't remember if it was 2 or 3 golden retrievers go pounding out of the van, and now they're in the house because I had the front door open. The dogs are running all over the house. They're ruining my showing. Finally, the doctors leave. They didn't place an offer. We get the dogs in the van. I'm looking at this lady like she's out of her mind, because she kind of was. And guess what? She bought the house full price, cash offer. So a few things the lessons there. Number one, don't judge a book by its cover, okay? Because this book did not read full price, cash offer on a $1.5 million house. But number two, it was my belief. It really was my belief that made this happen. And that brother was so grateful to me, and the wife and everybody. It turned out to be such a beautiful thing. But had I wavered for even 1 minute, by the way, I got both sides of that deal too. Woo! It was nice. But had I wavered for even a second, none of that would have happened. I was so grounded and rooted in my belief and my capabilities and making this happen. And that's where you have to start. But how do you get into that space? We go through a lot. When I built this business that I'm running right now, I mean, look, you guys, I'm standing out on my deck, barefoot, talking to you. I have people on here that I love. I have clients that I remember in real estate, I used to make fun of realtors because they would post, I have the most amazing clients. And I'd be thinking like, I don't know, because I don't. My clients could be real jerks. But seriously, I now have attracted a group of clients around me that love me and support me just as much as I love and support them. I absolutely love what I'm doing. I love everything about it. And all of that starts with the energy. Building a business that supports your life and running it in a way that feels good. And it all starts with the energy. So how do we prepare ourselves for that energy? Go to the next slide, I think. So every single day, I have a couple hour ritual to get myself into this space. When I built this business, as I started to say, there was a lot of dark energy in my life. I've been through a lot in the past 3 years, a lot. Things that most people would have quit, most people would have given up. I guess I'm blessed because I've already been through hell and back several times in my life. And to me, it's just like, oh, okay, we're on this ride again. Let's see where it's bringing me. Let's see what it's teaching me. So that's number one. I learned how to become anti-fragile. I'm unshakable. I trust in who I am. So I start in the belief in myself in general in my life. I know who I am. I know that I'm going to show up and I'm going to do what it takes to have the ultimate and the best outcome. And I no longer am even attached to my own outcome. It's the ultimate and the best outcome. However, it does take work. So when all of this happened to me a few years ago, when I lost the business, lost all the money, and then my marriage began to crumble, and it was like, oh my God, I have no money, I'm alone, and I have no business. I didn't even go there. I pivoted on a dime, and I chanted, meditated, did tarot cards, journaled, like my life depended on it, because it did. And then a habit that was a 20-year-old habit became completely non-negotiable. I spend 2 hours every morning aligning my energy to the life and the business that I desire to have. Period. Nothing gets in the way. Now, on occasion, yesterday I did 8 hours of coaching. So I had to do a little more preparation in the morning than usual. So my routine was maybe 30 minutes instead of 2 hours. And that's okay, because it's so embedded and grounded in who I am. But that doesn't happen very often. I have what's called emotional stamina. So even though yesterday, 8 hours of coaching, you would think I need it more than ever, I have it built up in me because it's like a storage house, because I fill my cup so much, so often, and it sticks. So it's really, really important. So before you go into your sales pitch, you want to ask yourself, do I believe in my product? Do I believe in my capability of transforming the outcomes for the other business owners that I'm going to be speaking to? Am I grounded in their desires and what they want and what's important to them? We tend to just get like, here's my product, here's my service, here's how it works. We get into process, and here's what's next and blah, blah, blah. And they're not feeling it. And that's why it sucks for you, because you have to chase and beg and convince. But when you begin with your belief and your frequency, your energy is matching, it's aligned with that belief and it's aligned with their desired outcome, that's where the magic begins to happen. So I do this. I set intentions every single day, every single night, every single morning. If you walk into my space, there are reminders everywhere. My butterfly necklace here is a reminder, my snake ring, all the things. They're all reminders. I do breath work. I do meditation. I do journaling. I make sure that, the decisions, the choices that, and my habits are aligned with this highest and best version of myself. And when I show up as my highest and best version, I am magnetic. I am no longer selling. It is coming to me. And that's where it's, and look, it didn't happen overnight. I'm year 3 in, and now I'm like, oh, I have so many clients, I don't know what to do. Okay, crap. But it's a luxury problem. And now I'm leveling up. I'm 10Xing. I'm figuring out how to scale my business in a way where I don't need to coach 35 hours a week, but yet reach more people. And it's just mind blowing. And it is soulful prosperity. And it is building a business that supports the life that I desire. I'm now 100% remote. But it all began with that energy. So I want to bring David on, and I'm probably going to disappear when we do that. So if you can pull down the slides and bring David into the studio, Jose. Hi, good morning, David.
Good morning. Can you hear me, hopefully?
Yeah. Am I coming in and out?
No, you're great. Love the view.
Okay, good.
My view is
Starlink went down yesterday, like for 12 hours or something, like just gone. Andy, that's what happened when we were on our session, if you're on here. So I'm super excited to have David on here. So when David came to me as a client, I'm going to be honest, and I probably never told you this. I'm like, shit, this guy's like perfect. All right. This guy has his shit together, so it took a moment. And then I had to go within and I had to, I know who I am. I know who I am. I know who I am. And my set of skills and what I have to offer is completely unique, and it is powerful, and it changes people's lives. And I brought that energy to the meeting, even though David brought his energy of like, well, I'm pretty perfect. I love to pick on David. But it was a little intimidating, right? And plus, I'm doing this through Zoom, and he's very techie. And a couple of times I had to realign myself, like, okay, just offer what transforms people, Jen. What you have that helps people transform their life and their business, and it's a holistic approach. It's not one or the other. It's all of it. And then we got into our groove, and I loved watching the shift in David, because David's personality is to do, and if you just keep doing, it's going to happen. And let me do more. And that's a natural thing for him. It's not just because of his desire to achieve, but he also has a real deep hunger to be successful and to offer his children and his family, the most beautiful things, and leave behind a legacy, and, take what his father's dream was and make it even bigger, and so much. So combined with that personality, I knew what I had to offer was going to help him. And so we have spent a lot of time on the sales process, and David entering into mastery, although I know oftentimes he doesn't feel that way. It's a fact. So can you walk us through an energetic sales process, please? At first, tell us all about you, what you have going on, and then just take it over.
Well said. Thank you for having me, Jen. Love the energy. You show up 100%, actually 110%. Well, I'll get into me by doing this process, because you'll learn about me by me actually going through the steps of this process. And I'll kind of role play. I'll kind of take over little bits and pieces of this. I don't think we'll have time to go through, getting really through, getting in deep in it, but I'm gonna show you why I love this. And one thing that I came to Jen for was to really build out systems, repeatable systems. And this was a great gift for me, because it gave me the structure I needed to having these sales conversations, know where to go. So there are 8 steps in this. You want to lead powerfully. That's number one. Number two, you want to get into their why. As Jen was talking about earlier, it's not about your agenda. It's about what's important in their life. So you want to get into their why. Number three, you want to mirror back what they said to you. Number four, you want to confirm what are the priorities for them. And then you want to present how you can help them. Okay. What matters most to them. You want to do it in the context of them. Then you're going to soft close. Most likely there'll be some objections. So you're going to want to find out, isolate all their objections, whatever they are. And then you're gonna close again. You're gonna do your final close. So there are 8 steps to this, and I'll kind of demonstrate this, and you'll learn a little bit about me at the same time. So what was step number 1? You want to lead powerfully, right? So let's say I was on a call with Jen. Hey, Jen, really excited to be on this call with you because we help companies showcase the best part of their business, which is the incredible results they get for their clients. And we do that by creating undeniable proof through video testimonials that capture the full impact of what they do. And then we provide the strategies to get those videos seen where it matters most in our Success Accelerator system. Now, when prospects get this concrete evidence of the results that you get, it dissolves skepticism, it builds trust instantly, and any of those deals that have gone dead or have stalled, they're going to close within a matter of days. And so if that's something that sounds like something that you would like to learn about for your business, then I'm happy to share that with you. Jen, is that something you want to hear about? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. All right. So great. So then you set some context here. Hey, listen, Jen, awesome. The goal of this call is really simple. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to ask you some questions about your business, your goals, your outcomes you're trying to achieve. We're going to talk about your sales process, see if there are any obstacles or challenges that you have in your process, and then we'll see how I can best help you achieve those goals. Sound good?
Sounds great.
Awesome. So that's really leading powerfully into the conversation. Then you go into discovering their why. And here you're going to start going and asking those questions. Hey, Jen, what are the goals? Hey, I want to have a group program with 100 people by the end of the year. Awesome. What is that going to, and then you're going to, how is that going?
How do you know that's my goal?
I'm just guessing. I got a feeling.
It's my exact goal.
I'm psychic, I got a sense. And then you're going to want to really get clarity around that. And then you want to connect to their personal why. And so, I would ask Jen, hey, Jen, so it's end of December. You've got 100 clients. What does that mean for you in your life? And you really want to unpack what is that transformation in their life? Really get connected to the future possible version of themselves. Really live in the possibility, not necessarily getting them into a place of, fear and anxiety and what's not working and all that kind of stuff. Right. And so once you have clarity around that, and you're going to ask, follow-up questions, you're going to say, hey, so tell me more about that, Jen. What does that mean? Okay. So you're going to be able to spend more time with your granddaughter, and you're going to be a digital nomad. What does that look like? And, ask what else, and really get a clear picture of who your client is and what's important to them. Right. At that point, once you have clarity around that, you're going to want to mirror that back to make sure that you heard what they said and make sure they now hear it being reflected back. Because when you reflect back to them what you heard, they know that you're listening to them and that you care about what they want. All right. So you're building that connection. And so you'll give clarity, you'll give it back to them. Hey, so I understand you want this, and this is going to give you that. And I know you want to impact 1 million lives, which is awesome. Great, great, great. Confirm. And then you want to, once you've mirrored that, you want to confirm their priorities. Hey, listen, I need help in, clearly you need help in getting 100 people enrolled in this program. How are you going to do that? Right. And once you confirm those priorities, you also want to confirm not only that, but is there anything else? So I understand this is what you shared. Is there anything else that I should know about you or your business or your priorities right now? And now you have this complete picture of where they are, where they want to be, And now you could start looking at that. And now you're going to start going into presenting, but you're not just vomiting all over them. You're going to present as it relates to where they want to go. And you're going to share what's going to resonate with them. And so I would say, Jen, like, you want to have a program like this? That's awesome. This is a new pivot in your business. You'll be able to help more people, not having to sacrifice as much as your time. You'll get some of your time back. Well, I know personally, because I launched the business in 60 days. And the way that I did that was by getting video testimonials. And so you're going to be launching a program and people are going to be skeptical. Like, who is this coach? You're one of 70,000 business coaches in the United States.
Probably more.
No, I asked Google. I mean, I asked ChatGPT, and it could have made it up, but it said based on a 2024 study that there are 70,000 business consultants in the United States. So there are a lot of choices out there. And people want to know, why am I paying this money? And so I know that you get great, amazing results. I've experienced it firsthand. I've interviewed clients of yours. That is going to address what I talked about at the beginning of the possibility of showing people a future version of themselves by working with you in group coaching. And so that's where I would spend my time explaining how video testimonials will get people to want to enroll in this program without you actually having to get on sales calls. You will be able to sell them without you having to invest any time. And we would go into that, et cetera. And then certainly when you're in a sales conversation, people are going to have objections, right? And actually, this is something that I always feared kind of earlier in my career, but actually it's a great sign. When someone has objections, that means they want what you have. Not that they don't want what you have. They're just trying to figure out in their head, how do I get this? How do I make this work? Because I'm having some issues. And so you're going to want to understand what those objections are. And one thing that I struggled with earlier was, like, I would get one objection and be like, okay, let's get into this. But there might be a second, a third, a fourth. Jen might say, listen, I don't have the money, or I don't have the time, or I don't think my clients are going to do this. And one thing that I like to do with that is not only, so when someone gives you an objection, ask them, what else? What else is a concern for you? Get the whole list. When you get the list, what I like to do is say, okay, let's put those in priority order. Which is the biggest concern for you right now? What is the biggest issue? Price. Okay. And what's the next one? Well, I just don't have time. I'm busy coaching. Okay. And what else? Well, I don't know if my clients are going to do this. Awesome. And then go from the biggest one down to the smallest one, because most likely when you address the biggest one, you're probably going to address the smaller ones at the same time. And so cost. Okay. So what is it about the cost? Well, I don't have the money. Okay, well, what do you have? And just kind of unpack that for them. And they might say, well, this is a lot of money. Well, why do you tell me more about that? I mean, here's the thing. Let's say it was a $10,000 solution. And they say, well, 10,000 is a lot of money, right? But Jen, let's say she wants 100 people in this program and they're each paying $100 a month. That's 10 grand a month, if I do my math correctly there. So in 1 month, she gets 100 people in, it's paid for itself. So it's not necessarily, people have an issue with price because they don't see the value. If you could spend $10,000 once and make $10,000 every month for a year, it's a no-brainer, right? So you have to really unpack that for them. Time, we don't even take any time from the client. We do all the work ourselves. And then we make it really easy for people to schedule. So that would be like, to do it. It only takes 30 minutes, 45 minutes. I think I see Nancy on here. I was telling you, Jen, Nancy was the very first testimony we ever did in 2016. And the process has just completely evolved over that time. So now you've presented, I think I might have skipped over the soft close, which is, hey, how does that sound to you? Yeah. And then you might say, hey, listen, it sounds great. And they'll say, how much does it cost? And you'll go into this stuff, right? You address their objections, and then you go back. Okay, so we talked about your pricing concerns. We talked about your time concerns. You talked about, your clients being willing to do this, and go back for your final close. So is there anything else that would prevent you from moving forward with this solution? And then if there are a new objection that's come up, okay, great. Are there any other objections? Great. And you just go through that loop until you've addressed all that, and then you close the deal.
Do you guys feel that? Like, do you feel how calming, how assured? And by the way, one of my main strategies for building out my new group coaching program is video testimonials, because I believe David believes, I believe because he believes, and I'm letting him lead me through that process. And it's because he instilled that belief in me, period. But watching you now, and it's not that there was anything wrong, because first of all, you're a really nice guy. And that was one of the things that was kind of hurting you, is that people would nice guy, I'm interested. And then you're sending email after email after email after email, and then they're just gone, right? We're not here to make friends. We can make friends in the process. Listen, when I built my real estate company, I ended up with 95 family members, never mind friends, okay? They became family. So there's nothing wrong with that. But nothing builds better rapport than actually taking an interest in what is going on with the person who's in front of you. So you build a deep connection. We were laughing about your R2D2, how that was helping, but people are going to not just buy from you because they like Star Wars. They're going to buy from you because they believe that your product and your service is going to transform their business and their life to get the results that they desire, period. And make it easier and make it smoother and make it seamless and make it less stressful, all of those things. So I know you have somewhere to go. So I am so grateful and so proud of you. You are awesome. If somebody wants to do a video testimonial, how do they find you?
Super easy. They can go to remotevideotestimonials.com. They can also call 914-677-2588. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, of course. We're on all the social media platforms. And if people want to learn more about the results we got, I mean, about this incredible free resource they're giving people. We were able to get 3 clients to generate $247,000 in 1 week using video testimonials. So definitely grab that. Super awesome. It's just I've been doing video gen a long time. I worked with the folks that worked on the original Star Wars. I've worked on feature films, TV. I've edited TV commercials, and I love this business because I see the transformation it has for companies when you let your best customers do the selling for you. That's why you get most of your business through referrals. This allows you to get referrals 24/7. So every business should be doing this. It's a game changer. So thanks for having me on here. It's great to be in your coaching program. I see great things for you, and just keep doing what you're doing. Keep up.
Right back at you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
See ya.
What an amazing job. And the best thing about David was he started with me. He had the most amazing product, and the service, the customer service was like white glove. But people don't necessarily buy a product or service. They buy the transformation. It's an energy exchange. It really is. And this isn't just woo-woo. And finally, I learned a lot of these concepts 20 years ago when I started studying Buddhism. They didn't apply it to business, but the energy concepts. And now science is backing it up. And there's all kinds of people like Dr. Joe Dispenza, and I could go on, that are now applying these concepts to every area of your life, not just when you want to feel peaceful and calm. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to feel stressed out and like I'm hustling and chasing and bothering people. And that's the energy you felt when you were doing sales in the past. And not that you weren't good at it, because Lord knows, David, you work hard enough to be good at anything that you do. But we don't want to just be good. We want to be great, and we want to be free, and we want to feel good. We want to feel great. So really great job in implementing all of that.
And I was going to leave with one thought, and then I have to go, which is because I think there are some other view on this call, which is by you inviting me to do this, it allowed it not I won't say force is not the right word, but it allowed me to do more reps, to be able to show up here powerfully and deliver this.
It
For your
deepened your belief. It deepened your belief.
But it became more a part of me. So the more you
Yes.
do this, the easier it becomes. And
Amen.
and
Amen.
I appreciate you inviting me to do this today.
Yeah.
To not only help whoever watches this, but to actually help me in doing it myself. So
You did amazing. Keep up
thanks.
this excellent work. I don't even like when people say that. Keep it up. No, just do you. You're doing
Thank
amazing.
you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good weekend. Take care.
Me
Bye.
too. So I know there's some questions. I do want to point out a couple of things with what he said. You know, the getting to people's why, it's just approaching this with curiosity, with a genuine care, a genuine want to help, and from a leadership approach. You want to lead them to their desired outcome. And when we approach sales, we start with the sales strategies, the sales scripts, the conversations and the tactics and the language. You know, I'm supposedly a master NLP practitioner, but I still struggle with it. I need to take a few more courses before I actually feel that, although I am certified. So I've learned all of those things. But until you align your energy and begin with the belief, those strategies and those tactics, they may even get you success, but you're not going to get those deep relationships where you become magnetic and people are running around telling everyone else. If you are not using Andy to do direct marketing, you're not going to have as good of an experience. If you are not using Nancy for your corporate gifting needs, you're not going to have anywhere near as good of an experience because you connected with them so deeply and you opened up possibility for them and helped lead them there. And that's the powerful part. So next time on Empower Hour, we're going to get deeper into the process, the language, and that process that David just outlined. Probably pick on some of my other clients to come on and help with that. But for now, let's just leave it with that energy. So I know, Nancy, you had some questions. If you want to come on, Jose, you can bring her on. I'm going to answer your first question. How do you stay grounded and don't waver? Because I am committed. Every single morning, I have that 2-hour routine. And I know you do too, Nancy. Maybe, I don't know if it's 2 hours, right? I'm a little crazy, but I do it every morning, and then I have things in the evening, and I have things throughout the day that help keep my energy grounded. And like I said, I have built up emotional stamina. And so I had, before like everything happened to me, my business blew up, my marriage was falling apart, I had already been deeply practicing harnessing my energy and keeping myself vibrating at a really high level all the time. So when it blew up, I didn't hesitate. I was instantly more than okay. I saw it as an opportunity, and I knew this was the time for me to do me. And I didn't start making decisions out of financial insecurity, financial scarcity, because there was plenty of that, but I didn't allow it to be my guide. I just moved forward with hope every single day, and I was able to be unshakable, anti-fragile, because I trusted that I was becoming a better version of myself through this process. I was becoming a better coach through this process. Share a practice to lead myself with this belief. Okay, so I'll just take you through sort of my morning routine. Can you put up the manuscripting banner? So one of the things is I discovered this journal that is really helpful. It is called manuscripting. And so I do my Kundalini yoga. First, I don't even go to the bathroom. I sit up and I do about 15 minutes of meditation. Actually, I'm sorry, 25 minutes of meditation. And then I do about a half an hour of Kundalini yoga. And then I journal in this manuscripting journal. It is amazing. So I highly suggest it to anybody. It helps you to focus on the most important things, focus on your wins, focus on what you're grateful for, but in a more embodiment way. It also encourages to do tarot cards, and tarot cards is not like the spirits are coming in. Tarot cards are your intuition. It allows you, it gives you a message, and then you interpret that message based on your intuition, and it just deepens that belief. I also do a lot of visualization. So that 25 minutes of meditation is also affirmations and visualizations. Like this morning, I did a very quick version, and I just, I am a world-class coach. I am wealthy. I am healthy. I am fit. I am creative. I live a fun life. I am free. I just repeat it to myself over and over and over again. And my favorite mantra, Nancy, as you know, is I know who I am. I know who I am. I know who I am. See, but that only works if you back it up with the action. So if you can affirm, everybody talks about manifestation, but if you're just like, putting out to the universe that this is what you want, but then you're going, I putting out to the universe, I want to be a size 6, I want to be a hard body, and I want to do this, and then you're like me eating chips and ice cream, and I'm not that bad, but I that's not my message to the universe. But if that is your message to the universe, and then you're turning around and doing those things, and you're not exercising and you're not moving, bottom line is you have to align your energy, your habits, and your actions to your desired outcome, and then the belief really begins to sink in. Like when I went to that gentleman and said, I need this crazy budget and I need to do these things to the house, and then I'm going to raise the price. Everything I did up to that point and then after that aligned with the success of that, right? I already, did all the things to make sure I was going to have a successful open house, that I was marketing it to the right people, not just locally. I took different approaches. I did all these different things. So I hope that makes sense. Some businesses are impossible to reach. Is there a way to get them to be available? Yes, you have to make that attempt at least 7 times, and you can't take it personal. And if you're not getting through to them on the phone, then, show up in person. Handwritten notes are something that people neglect all the time. In today's world, you get a card that's handwritten, it does something to you. It makes you feel good. One of my best friends, Jimmy Reitz, may he rest in peace. He was actually a judge, and he got to where he was, and when he died, he had probably 10,000 people at his wake. No exaggeration. Like the world said, he was on every news channel because he was so loved in our community. He built that through handwritten notes. So you just want to take time and figure it out. How do I get in front of these people? Where are they hanging out? What events are they going to? Who can introduce me to them? Write a handwritten note, send an email, call, show up, do the different things, send them something if they're, somebody that could really make or break your business for you. Spend a few dollars, call Nancy and send a gift, which I know you have done, Andy. Like, take those different approaches, but you don't just send the gift and then not keep following up, right? And you're not chasing. Every single time you send an email, leave a voicemail, write a handwritten note, you're leading powerfully. You're leading with the possibility and the outcomes and the transformation that you can provide. You're not making small talk and like begging them to meet with you. You're just telling them how you can transform their business. I think I've told everybody this story, but I love it. I got to see The Pursuit of Happiness, the Will Smith movie. I love Will Smith. That really great movie about the guy. He was homeless. He had his kid. They're living in shelters, and he had this dream of becoming a stockbroker. And he was just in the boiler room calling and calling and calling. And he found like a billionaire client in Texas. And he was like, I'm going to get that billionaire client. And like, the timeline is going to be way off, so I'm paraphrasing. But basically, the first 3 months, the guy hung up on him. After 3 months, the guy would finally be like, so how are you? And then after 6 months, he was like, okay, I'll give you this little piece of business. And after a year, he got all his business. And then about a year and a half, the guy was like, listen, it's about time we meet in person. And I love this story. And the Will Smith character, I forget his name, in The Pursuit of Happiness, walks into the Texan billionaire's office. And the guy looks up and goes, well, thank God we didn't meet in person earlier, because if I knew you were black, I never would have hired you. And they laughed, and it was just amazing. But he didn't give up. And he had unwavering belief. And he wasn't like, I can't do this anymore because I'm homeless. I can't do this anymore because I'm homeless and I have my kid with me. He did whatever it took. And he believed deeply. We give up when it becomes a little hard or it feels a little uncomfortable, and we start taking it personal because your energy is not aligned. You're vibrating at a really low level. So when you're approaching these impossible to reach homeowners, and you're doing it in a way that you know you have something amazing for them, and you're leading with that energy, not a chasing energy, things will start to happen. And it may take a while for you to get this kind of groove, but it only will take one or two of the really big kind of clients in your industry that are going to make the difference for you and open the doors. Because guess who they hang out with? Other business owners like them. So I hope that helps. Please pull up my last slide. The most exciting thing that I have going on right now, and I'm going into Nancy's coaching session, so I'm going to be quick, is I am finally launching a hybrid group coaching. Okay, so this is one-on-one with me, and also group coaching, and also online modules that you can do at your own pace. But the most beautiful thing about this guy is it's so accessible. It is, put the banner up too. It is so affordable. So if you are either transitioning out of a career and looking to become an entrepreneur, this 6-month program, by the end of it, you're going to know exactly what you're doing and have a business that's up and running. Or you're already in business and you just can't get started, this is the program for you. If you are in business and you've had some success, but you've hit the ceiling, this is also the program for you. It's more for solopreneurs and very small teams. It's not for big, massive companies. That I have my other Beyond Limits program for, but I am so grateful and so excited to be launching this because I'm going to be able to help and impact so many people. You truly learn every aspect of running a business, systems, implementation, accountability, goal setting, messaging, marketing, everything you can imagine in this program. So I really hope you take advantage of it. Go to the, put up the other slide. And just in case you're not ready for coaching, just get into my world. You get weekly activations. You get, this is the wrong slide. Put up the Soulful Prosperity Toolkit. Because if you're not ready for coaching, like I said, just get into my world, begin to receive activations. Jose, you still have the wrong banner up. You will begin to receive different activations, different meditations, different sales trainings. You get all the Beyond Limits trainings that ever existed and going forward on demand, on replay. And I guess Jose can't find that link, but that's okay. If you go to my website, it's on the front page. So you can put that, there it is. But it's also on the front page of my website. This is totally free. I will never chase you. I just want to invite you into a world of soulful prosperity where you're building a business that supports the life of your dreams. And I never thought that that was possible, and now I'm living it. So thank you guys so much. Nancy, I'll see you in about 2 minutes. And yes, I know who I am. Thank you.